Hey everyone, this is Player 1, and today I bring you 10 games to play this Halloween. There are numerous games out there worth checking out that are spooky either by design or as seen in the typical survival horror or even in some action games that have a twisted atmosphere. I wanted to give you 10 scary games that you should check out this October. They're in no particular order. I hope you enjoy. Although this is technically not a top 10s, it's impossible to not imagine Dead Space as one of the best survival horror games ever. The Ishimura is a scary place full of horrific creatures that relentlessly hunt Isaac Clarke as he attempts to find a way to escape and find his girlfriend Nicole. The most interesting thing about the gameplay is that you can't deal with the enemies the way usual games play out. Instead, you have to use the creative weapons available to dismember your foes while trying to strategically ration your ammo, health, and power-ups to survive. You can play Dead Space on the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Next, we have Corpse Party. This is a survival horror adventure game with emphasis on horror. You spend your time in the twisted alternative dimension version of Heavenly Host Elementary School. The school has a history of murders and disappearances, but now you have killer ghosts, demons, and a maniac to contend with. There is no real way to fight back, and instead you have to survive by avoiding enemies and trying to live through the fear that only Japanese horror thrillers can induce. It's a great experience worth going through. I can't think of another game that has cute sprites scare the heck out of me. I recommend the definitive version on the 3DS, which we did a first impressions review of earlier this year, so please check that out. Or you can check it out on the PSP, Vita, PC, iOS, and Android devices. Not all scary games are about limited ammunition or unbeatable foes. Some games are scary because of their atmosphere. First Encounter Assault Recon, or f.e.a.r. as most people know it, is a survival horror first-person shooter. You will have plenty of ammo and health for the most part, but it's still a blast. The horror comes from the dark corridor, scary enemies including a scary-ass little girl with psychic powers, jump scares galore, and an intriguing plot that keeps you asking, what is going on? Playing this game is like experiencing a throwback to the great first-person shooters of yesteryear. Play it on the Xbox 360, PS3, or the PC. Next on the list is Evil Within. By now the sequel is the talk of the town as it comes out today, but I want to focus on the original. A third-person survival horror game, Evil Within offers the expected Shinji Mikami experience. Is it as good as his best work? Not quite, but still, it delivers a significantly spooky atmosphere and has you dealing with hordes of enemies while strategically rationing health, ammo, and gel upgrades. The story is a bit stale, and at times the bad frame rate can be just as scary as the actual enemies, but it's still a fun game to play. Pick it up on the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, or the PC. If you're looking for a short and sweet adventure that is less sweet and more scary, I recommend checking out Yomawari Night Alone. This is another one of those games like Corpse Party that is deceptively cute and altogether creepy. Yomawari offers you an interesting take on top-down survival horror. Your primary goal is to find your sister in a town filled with ghosts, monsters, and demons. Your main way to fight back is avoidance. You hide in bushes, behind signs, or run to avoid one-hit kills while attempting to solve the mystery of your missing sister. Make sure to check out our first impressions review for more details. It's available on the PS Vita and the PC. On the complete other side of the spectrum, we get Amnesia: The Dark Descent. In this game, anything and everything can and does look scary. The game is played in the first-person perspective, where you explore a dark and foreboding castle while trying to maintain your sanity by avoiding monsters and other terrifying obstructions, and deal with physics-based puzzles. The need to manage your sanity adds a strategic element to Amnesia that keeps you in a constant sense of fear. You must balance how long you spend in the light and darkness, since being in the dark lowers your sanity, which in turn makes you hallucinate and draws monsters to you. Because you are not given any weapons in the game, the only way to survive is by running and hiding from the twisted creatures found throughout the castle. This, combined with a mysterious case of amnesia, allows for some real frightening moments. Make sure to check this out on the PS4 or preferably the PC. It's almost impossible to not mention one of the biggest horror movie tropes in entertainment history, which is a combination of horny teenagers, murders, and bad choices. Out of all the games I have played, I think the one that truly exemplifies this is Until Dawn. This sleeper hit has quickly become one of PlayStation 4's best-known exclusives. It's officially designated an interactive drama survivor horror adventure game, but can easily be thought of as a choose-your-own-adventure cinematic visual novel with light gameplay. Think of it as a Telltale game, with better production values, more significant gameplay, and with choices that actually affect the story. The basic premise is that a group of 8 teenagers decide to vacation for a night in a cabin in the fictional Blackwood Mountain, exactly 1 year after the disappearance of twin sisters of a member of their group. Shortly after arriving, they find themselves under attack by a psychopath and must attempt to survive until sunrise. You alternate between all 8 characters, making critical decisions as the story advances, which drastically affect the game's outcome. I highly recommend checking it out. Alan Wake is a unique third-person adventure game that has you fighting through hordes of the Taken, which are distorted humans taken over by darkness that you must weaken with a flashlight before being able to kill. The story follows best-selling thriller novelist Alan Wake as he tries to uncover the mystery behind his wife's disappearance during a vacation in the small fictional town of Bright Falls, Washington, all while experiencing events in the plot in his latest novel, which he cannot remember writing, coming to life. Alan Wake plays out like a TV series complete with 6 episodes. The flashlight mechanic and combat are surprisingly satisfying and lead to some intense sections of combat. If you have ever been a fan of Stephen King or the TV series Twin Peaks, you will enjoy this adventure. Make sure to play this on the PC or the Xbox 360. Another great scary game on the go is Dementium the Ward. Exclusive to the DS, not counting the 3D eShop version, this survival horror first-person shooter is as fun as it is scary. Originally planned as a Silent Hill game for the DS, you can see the parallels. Although first-person shooters don't control the best on the DS, Dementium makes good use of the Metroid Prime Hunter's touchscreen controls, and delivers a unique portable experience for thrill seekers on the go. Dementium tells the story of a man who awakens to find himself alone in a mysterious, derelict hospital that is frozen in time. Confronted by the deadly, grotesque surgical experiments that wander the halls, a series of challenging puzzles, and a cast of peculiar characters, he must face his deepest fears, unlock the mysteries of the hospital, and escape with his life. It will creep you out with gory visuals and bone-chilling audio that brings the world screaming to life. Make sure to use headphones for this one. Last, but certainly not least, is what I consider to be one of, if not the best survival horror game in history. This game offers you the golden sweet spot of balance between survival, action, mystery, and horror. The story follows James Sunderland, who enters the town after receiving a letter written by his deceased wife, saying she is waiting for him in the special place in Silent Hill. Joined by Maria, who strongly resembles her, he searches for her and discovers the truth about her death. Many of the staples of survival horror that are memorable, like the stalking pyramid head, static radio that warns of close enemies, and multiple endings, were perfected here. I emphatically recommend that you play through this at least once in your life. Make sure to get the original PS2 or Xbox or even the PC version. The remake on PS3 and Xbox 360 were atrocious. Alright, so there you have it. 10 games to play leading up to Halloween that will surely give you scares, fun, and much to talk about. Are there any other games you think should have been added to the list? Do you disagree with any of my choices? Make sure to comment below. And if you like this list, give me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe for more Beyond Retro Games videos. Thanks for watching.